Bender got on the mechanical bull and swore to break the club's record.
0.4 seconds! A new club record for shortest ride!
When it was Leela's turn, no matter how violently the mechanical bull resisted, she clung tightly to it and refused to let go. The mechanical bull gradually went out of control, bouncing wildly from side to side in the hall. Just as it was about to hit a little girl, the shopkeeper fired a shot, and the bull finally fell to the ground motionless. Even so, Leela still held on to it tightly. Leela explained that she wanted to let go, but the handle seemed to be coated with glue. Swaberg took out a magnifying glass to check and found that Leela's hands were covered with suction cups. After arriving at the hospital, the doctors were helpless in the face of the dense suction cups. This was only the first stage of tentacle disease. Fry felt deeply guilty, thinking he had passed it on to Leela due to poor hygiene, but the doctor explained that it was caused by a mutant gene mutation. Soon, Leela's limbs would turn into tentacles. So far, there was no cure, and only an expensive surgery could delay the symptoms for a few months. Back at the company, everyone began to raise funds, but the company was in trouble and even owed utility bills. In the end, the professor decided to sell the spaceship to treat Leela's illness. Fry took the spaceship to the market, where a merchant became interested in it. Fry explained that he urgently needed money to treat his girlfriend's tentacle disease. The merchant felt sorry for him and said his wife had also suffered from this disease, but was eventually cured by 2 large beans. After thinking about it, Fry happily took the beans back to the company. However, the professor was angry at the beans Fry brought back and threw them out of the window directly. Leela's condition worsened, and she no longer had hope. Outside, the beans began to take root and germinate, growing into towering vines in an instant. At the same time, Leela decided to leave the company, go underground, and live with the mutants. When she lifted the manhole cover, she was attracted by the towering vines. Out of curiosity, she decided to take one last look at the things in the sky before leaving. When she reached the top, she found a fairy tale-like palace. However, she was soon caught by security guards. It turned out the palace was a genetic laboratory built by a wealthy merchant's wife, and Leela became one of his test subjects. Meanwhile, her friends discovered the vines. Bender and Fry managed to reach the palace, where they found Leela. They fled together into a secret room, where they discovered an imprisoned giant. Leela comforted the giant and set it free, but unexpectedly, the giant was extremely ferocious and began to chase them. With no way out, the 3 fled into the sewer, and the pipe led to Mom's lair. Leela was determined to stop this cruel experiment. She used her tentacles to control everyone, flew the castle spaceship toward the land, and then escaped from the spaceship using her tentacles. After the crisis was resolved, Leela wanted to break up with Fry. Fry comforted her, saying that appearances would always change, but what mattered was their hearts. Just then, Mom broke in. In fact, she was very grateful to Leela, because Leela's genes had helped her develop high-yield grain, which would end global famine. She also explained that the giant was a natural mutant and had been cured thanks to Leela. Mom insisted that she was only doing good for the world, and she offered to cooperate with Leela, tempting her with the promise of curing her. In the end, Leela returned to her original appearance and continued to be deeply in love with Fry.